the last thing we need to do for our album card is to build out this star rating display. I'm going to use a Framer feature called Design Components to make these. I could bring them in as images like we did for the cover image, but we're going to use Design Components just for the sake of learning how to bring things that we draw on the canvas into our code components. So the first thing we need to do is to draw a star. If I select this graphic tool, there's a star preset I can choose from this options bar, and then I can just click and drag anywhere on the canvas to draw my star. I'll make mine 16 by 16 with a purple gradient fill. I'll use this graphic to represent a filled in star, and I'll duplicate it and make a light gray version to use for the unfilled star. Now, in order to use these in my code, I need to make them into design components. But since these are graphic objects and not frames, Framer won't let me turn these into components. So I need to wrap each of these graphics in a frame element. I can do that just by drawing a frame around each one, and Framer will automatically set the graphic as a child of the frame. Now that I have the star graphic inside the frame, I can right-click on the frame and choose Create Component. I'll do that for both. Now I can see both of my design components in my Layers panel. The names of these components are the names that I'll use when I refer to them in my code. So I'll want to choose something a little more descriptive than just frame and frame. So I'll call mine star filled and star empty. But how can I pull these objects that only exist on the canvas into my code? When I use a code component in my code, I can just import that component from the file that it's written in, but these stars are on my canvas. There's no file for the canvas. Or is there? If I open my project folder for this project, I can do that by either choosing File, Show Project Folder, or by pressing Command-Option-P. So now I see my project folder, and if I look inside my code folder, lo and behold, there's a file here that represents my canvas. So this file is managed by the Framer app itself, so you don't want to edit this, but I can open it and see that in fact, my two design components are listed in this file. That means I can go into the code for my album component and import my star filled and star empty components from the canvas file. Remember, I use // at the beginning of the path to indicate that this canvas file lives in the same directory as my current album file. So now that I've got these imported, I can use them in my component just like any other React element. I use the component name inside of angle brackets, and these will be self-closing tags, so I'll include the / right at the end. And now here they are in my preview. Now I want these stars to lay out in a nice, evenly spaced horizontal row, so I'm actually going to put these inside yet another stack inside my album card. So I'll make my stack 24 points high, I'll make it horizontal, with a gap of 4 points. And now I can add some more star elements so I can see all 5 stars for the rating. So that was pretty easy. Using design components like this is a great way to bring in some UI or other element that you've drawn on the canvas into a code component without having to figure out how to recreate everything that you've drawn in code. Now, I still have some work to do here for my star rating because I want to be able to set how many filled stars I show based on the rating that comes into this component through props. But we'll do that in the next video.